Hello. For you to be an e-patient, you need to be a smart patient, and that includes knowing about medical codes. In this video, we're going to talk about the laboratory codes. We see here that there is a standard, a universal standard for laboratory observations, and it's the Loinc code provided by the Loinc organization for free. In ePatient Index, from this webpage, we have provided you with the universal codes from Loinc, a short list of the most used one in the US. You need to know that when you have a lab, you have the results are coded and the order are also coded. In ePatient Index, we're going to be using the older code because that's what they give you, the older code. And we're going to see how easy it is to code for lab. In this page, I mentioned here that given laboratory will have a name, a synonym, and a consumer name. And then you'll have three types of code. The proprietary from the laboratory, the Loinc International, which we already talked about, and the CPT for billing. We are giving you this one. You as an e-patient, you're going to provide the mapping from Loinc to CPT. That's going to be very useful for the medical community. And we're not going to be using the proprietary code from these lab corporations. Let's jump to action to show you how easy it is. The first thing you're given is the indication for the lab, and they give you this sheet. The doctor will give you his preferred lab, and from, let's say they mark an X here, hemoglobin. So you see that the internal Quest lab test is 510, and that's your entry to populate the information that you need to populate into e-patient index to help future e-patients. If I show you the interface in e-patient index, here you go to the lab admin, and the Loinc code and the lab desk, as I said, is going to be provided by ePatient Index, and then you're going to help the community by doing the mapping to the CPT code, putting the synonyms and the consumer name. With this entry 510, you just go into Google mode, and then you just go here and say 510 Quest, and you will see automatically the first page you get 510, and then you see the consumer name, hemoglobin, and you see here the CPT code, and you see here the Loinc code. So let's fill our table. The internal test for is 510. The CPT code is the CPT code, and the Loinc code is 5. You see? And then here, let me put the CPT code again. All right. So to practice more, now this number is not going to be the same proprietary number as in LabCorp. To find it in LabCorp, then you use one of these two. Let's use the CPT code. And what you do, you go into Google mode now, and specifying the CPT code, you say LabCorp. And then you will see here, hemoglobin, LabCorp. You're going to find the same older Loinc, and it's going to have the same CPT code. And now you have more information here. You see here, is the same. You see? So you can find more information. Let's do a final search for the CPT code for the next lab. 5010 Arup lab. So this is the internal code in Arup lab. Let's fill it. And then I'm doing this as a way of practicing to convert you into an expert. And then this is the internal code in LabCorp. And then, of course, the Loinc code is going to be the same. And then the CPT billing code is going to be the same. Now, the laboratory name is hemoglobin. And you see here that in this page you get the synonyms, aliases, HB, SGB. And that completes your training. HB, HGB. But there's a better page here that you can use the Loinc code, and you want to be a super patient, HIPA space. And then you will see everything you need to know about this lab here, including the consumer name, hemoglobin, and then the related names, all this. Okay? So you see here that it's also called whole blood. And this is the short name. And then you complete that training. The consumer name is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, this is the synonym. HB, HGB, HGB, whole blood. And then that completes your training. Your next step is to help the e-patient community. So how you do that? So you know that we already populated for you the Loinc code. So you find 787. And then you get your lab. And then you select it. And then you provide the mapping. CPT code 850110. Synonyms HB, HGB, whole blood. Consumer name, hemoglobin. Now you save it. And you have contributed to the e-patient community, because now when another e-patient is going to register this lab in his profile, then he can find it by the CPT code, by the real name, or by the alias. Thank you. Don't forget that we just put in the system a short list of the most common labs used in the US. Remember that the list of observations is huge, almost 90,000. So what happens is, if let's say you try to find this one and you don't find it, we're not going to be putting garbage in EpatientIndex. What you're going to do if you need to alter that lab test is you're going to add it. You're going to first try to look it up. And if you don't find it, then we're going to let you add it. But in this way, you're going to please include, you're going to ask the EpatientIndex master, please include 1993 Loinc. And here, you're going to put the 993. And for the CPT code, you can leave it blank. you have configured that lab in your system. So an e-patient index advocate, an e-patient index master will find that entry, will enter it in the system, and will fix the record for you. We should not be adding any new lab tests because we're not the Loinc organization. And remember, you're not inventing any lab test. They give you this. They give you this shit. That completes their training. Please help keep e-patient index garbage free and keep help e-patient index free of free text. Thank you.